Hey guys, and welcome. Took a little bit longer than the 5 minutes. I just had a visitor, so thanks so much if you are going to jump in and connect here today. Today I'm going to have a little bit of a chat around gratitude is the best attitude. So if you can hear me, just leave me a message down below so that I can respond and say hey, and we'll get on with today. So as I mentioned, I wanted to talk about gratitude is the best attitude. Last night I was working with a girlfriend on an aspect of my business, and I finished up and actually made it home at 4:45 this morning. Whilst I was driving, or even in that time that I spent with my girlfriend, it was nothing for her to give up that time to help me. And I was thinking to myself, like, we don't always take that opportunity to let people know how grateful we are. And that when we do express that, how awesome people feel. Hey Luke, how you doing? And so I wanted to talk about that, is that how many times throughout the day or the week or the month do we actually take the opportunity to let the people in our world, or the people that actually come into your world, and express your gratitude. I know it was something that made me really consider on the way home. Do I say to my husband or to my children how grateful I am? I tell them I love them, but do I tell them that I'm grateful for what they bring to my world? And so it made me started thinking, and for anyone that knows me, yes, I love to think and I love to chat. So that was what I really wanted to bring to the forefront, is that we can spend so much time in our head thinking about things, but how often do we actually drop down into that space where we allow ourselves to just feel what's going on in our world, feel that gratitude, express that gratitude, share it with people, and let them know that, yeah, you're important and I appreciate what you bring to my world. So, I'm wondering, how often are you guys doing it? Is it something that you think about? Is it something you've just naturally learnt to do? And for other people, is it not a natural thing to do? Thanks, Luke. I appreciate you saying this is so cool. So yeah, like, what's your thoughts around how often you're grateful to other people, or just expressing it? And that gratitude doesn't have to just be the people in your world. Over this week, I've had quite a few offers from people that have just come in, don't know me from a bar of soap, and have connected through different Facebook groups that and just have welcomely offered some resource or a tool or a bit of an advice, a bit of a chat. And I couldn't tell you just how that made me feel in my heart. Like, I felt that was just the kindest thing, and all I could do to give back to them was just to say thank you so much. And it didn't feel like it was enough, but that person was grateful because they actually did it just because they could be generous and to help other people. And I thought, like, one of my greatest idols is like Oprah Winfrey, and she's someone that I see as like a really great humanitarian, because she promotes gratitude. She promotes pay it forward. She promotes letting people know in your world just what you're thinking and feeling, and expressing that and sharing that with them. Because sometimes the most simplest thing in the world is to let someone know that you care about them, that you're grateful, and that you appreciate them there. And that has the biggest impact on how a person feels. I remembered looking at my girlfriend last night. Well, probably not so much late last night. It was more early morning when I was saying goodbye at 4:15. That when I'd said to her how grateful I was, there was a smile that came over her face, that was enough, that, she just appreciated to know that I'd valued what she had done. And it was really heartwarming. I watched a video the other day, and it was all about these people that got together, this lady that was just videoing random people and just going up to them and saying, hey, I think you're really beautiful. And these were people she had no idea, just all different kinds of shapes and sizes of people, backgrounds. And the smile that came over their face, it made me started wondering just how often we say these nice things to other. We usually, verbally express what's not going right in our world, but how many times are we allowing ourselves to take the opportunity to focus on what's some of the really great stuff that's going on? What are the great connections that you have with people? You know, and what kind of connections are you having with them? Do you have different people in your world because they bring something different and dynamic to your world? You know, like, do you have your fun friends and your serious friends, and just the people that you get to share your world with? Do you take the time to share that kindness and gratitude? Because I tell you, it does make your heart well. It makes you feel like you are appreciated and that you're valued. And as humans, that's one of the highest values that humans all want, is to know that they are valued. And because the soul just, it soars when people know that. You can purchase something, you can give something to someone, and I mean, I'm not denying that it's not nice to get nice things, but the simplicity of a kind word and the language that we use with people is so important. I have been speaking to some people around podcasting and so forth like that, and there's a gentleman that wanted me to express about some of the writing that I'd been doing, and I had to look at it and I had to write something in regards to what did I feel that the role of writing meant for me in my life. And I had to spend a couple of days thinking about it, because I was like, I didn't even really sort of consciously think about it. I just wrote words, and then you sort of stop and you have a look at the process, and there was this responsibility and ownership. And I think that's what gratitude really signifies, is that when we take ownership and responsibility for the language that we speak to people, when we express gratitude, there is a softness that comes in our tone. We use different words. We use words that express emotions and deep thankfulness. So when I was writing this to this gentleman, it made me started realizing that how different we use our language when we have different kinds of conversation, and the impact that it has, and the tonality that we have, and the responsibility we have as humans to be at least a little bit more consciously aware of the words that we use, because words are the things that can hurt the most. It's, you know, if you ask anyone that's had, you know, a bad experience with someone, it's never usually about the act of what they did that upset them. It is usually consumed around the words in which they were expressed and the tone in which you were spoken to that seems to hurt the person the most. So, you know, when I was writing this, it made me really feel that there's a responsibility that we own to ourselves to be mindful of the language that we use when we talk to people, which means we have to think first. You know, I can be the first one to say that I've got foot and mouth disease over the years, and even still now sometimes I can still manage to do that. But how different the kind of conversations we would have if we were mindful and we took responsibility and ownership, because a single word can have multiple effects and can be taken in multiple different ways depending on where a person's at. And I'm not saying that we need to be walking around being stuck in our head all the time, because I mean, that'd just be mental. But what I'm saying is that if we took a little bit more time to think first, make sure that the words that we're about to use, the tone in which we express it, and the way in which we do it with each particular people, how different lives would be, because we have the ability to impact people's lives massively through the simplicity of words and language. And that is where gratitude was the best attitude came for me, was going back to that, thinking about the responsibility of writing, because writing actually just became a different way to express language and words. And seeing the impact and watching the video that I said the other day about the young girl going around and just saying to so many different people how beautiful they were. You know, you can use words like you're really hot, or, you know, you're really good looking. But when you actually say to someone they're beautiful, you're talking about an essence of who they are. You know, when you say someone's hot, that's more words that are verbalized on an exterior viewpoint. So, you know, and yet to most people, they would take them having the same outcome or the same results, just saying that you look really good. But that's what I was trying to, make a point of today, of just saying, maybe throughout the weekend, take a little bit of an opportunity and think about the words that you speak with the people that you love. And even if you're not speaking the words that you find are expressing the love, then let them know that you're grateful, and tell them what are the elements about them that you are grateful for. What other things do they bring into their world? And then take that responsibility and have a look at, are you bringing beautiful things into someone else's world? Are you letting the people in your world know how important they are and the impact and the great things that they bring to your life? I'm telling you, when you look at it like that, the world seems the same, but it also looks different because it has a different filter. And it's sometimes nice to be able to get out of your head and actually be in the sense of your heart space. Hey, Mario. So, yeah, taking that opportunity to connect in with your heart and be present. Be in the full sense of being ownership of the person that you are, as opposed to being in our head where we're thinking through life. Being mindful of your words is about how you be in this world. You're being a being, not a doing, and therefore things look different and you become different. You act different, you say different words that connect with people, and you'll find that what you're projecting out will, in an essence, be projected back to you. So it's a really nice exchange, and it also enables people to have a conversation that's on a different level. Rather than having these superficial conversations, you'll find that if you can tap into, the aspect of gratitude and attitude and being responsible for your language and take ownership for the words that you use, you'll find you'll start having different conversations with people. There'll be conversations that have meaning and that there's a purpose for them, that you're not just simply there just to gas bag, which, there's nothing wrong with that. I probably spent a couple of hours of that early hours in the morning doing it. So I'm not saying that we don't need to have those, because that, there's those polarities of, being in our mind and being in our heart. But I find most people, we spend more time thinking about life rather than being involved in life and expressing the world that you see through the essence of the filters of being a human, as opposed to doing actions and just going through things step by step. Hey, thank you, Mario. He's just written Go Rach. So thank you, guys. What are your thoughts around this? How do you feel? Are you being more, what are your thoughts around being grateful and having gratitude as a great attitude? How do you feel about that? And do you find that you have better connections with people when you do come from this sensitive state? I'd be really interested to hear your feedback. Hey, Aiden, how are you, love? It's really nice to see you all. Again, I want to say thank you so much. It was something I forgot to do yesterday, so I'm trying to be really mindful that I just always let you all know, the people that come on, that I'm really grateful that you're here and you're supporting this, and so that I'm not really sort of sitting here, standing there talking to myself in a way. But that's what I have for today. Hope you go away and think about this. I'm really grateful. If you think that this might help someone, please go ahead and share it with others so that we can collectively all go out there and share the message of gratitude is the best attitude, to be responsible for the language that we speak, and to take ownership for the words that we use, because words can hurt and harm the fastest than anything else in this world. So use your words for good. So peace out, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Love you. Thanks for being here.